Alright, and I'm live. Hello gamers, I am Mike, TheZorch, and this is Bike with Mike. This is a show where I do it every morning, and I use my exercise bike, or at least most of the time I do, and I do some exercises because I need to unfluffy, and it also helps the state of mind as well. Because I am a sufferer of depression, and it helps. It definitely helps, especially when there are people out there who are willing to talk, willing to listen. You have encouraging words. Had a lot of that in the chat comments lately. Mostly had a lot of people from Mixer, from the UK, surprisingly. And I really appreciate all the positive comments from people. Yesterday I did not use my bike because I hurt my knee. I almost threw it out like a couple of times. So Tigra suggested that I should give my knee a rest. I've done that, and now I think it's time for me to get back in and do this without unplugging this mic. I need to get an extension for this mic. Get an extension cord for this thing so that I don't accidentally unplug it again. It's got a long cord, but it's not long. It needs an extension. It really does. And I don't have any more laying around. Alright, let's see if my knee can handle this. Although I was wondering why I have an image of the window in the screen instead of using having the actual page for the chat embedded, as embedded in the stream, and just showing the window itself. I did download the Linux browser plugin for OBS, but it's not working. I can't get it to work, and I did put it in the appropriate place for OBS to use it, but it's not working. So I don't know what's wrong. I followed all the instructions of how to get it to work, because OBS on Linux by default doesn't have the doesn't have a browser source like the Windows side does. They're working on one. They're working on one for it, but the Linux one doesn't have one. So there are a couple of them out there. One of them you have to compile, which is a lot of work to do. And this other one is one I used to use before, but I installed it the exact same way it said to install it, and it's not working. Well, let's see if my knee can handle this today. It seems to be okay. My knee was sore all day yesterday. It was sore on one side, so I definitely did hurt it. And I was in the kitchen. We have a small refrigerator. It's not a very big one. It's one of those. This is a trailer park, but we own the trailer. But the appliances they put in here are the same kind that they put into the rentals. They're not very great. We need to replace the stove, and the refrigerator is, just your basic Frigidaire model that they throw into these, they throw into rental places. Well, we need a bigger fridge. You know, because there's 3 of us and we each share shelves. Dave's got this little tiny shelf in the middle. Tiger takes the top. Actually, we all kind of share the top. We all kind of share the top. And, I was gonna add to this. Yeah, we all kind of share the top. And, the bottom is where I usually put my stuff, but the bottom is occupied by mostly stuff that I make meals with. Carrots, celery, red and yellow bell peppers, cheese. You know, we buy cheese by the block because we grate our own cheese, because it has, grated cheese has cornstarch mixed in it. We avoid the cornstarch. And you know, some eggs. Some recipes call for egg. Like we had bacon wrapped meatloaf last night, and it needs a couple of eggs in order to act as the binding agent for all the meat and everything. Comes out really good. Well, we're gonna make today, not sure, something simple, maybe. We'll see. I know we need more recipes, because we've been very repetitive with what we've been having. Callie's asleep. He's asleep on the bed. He's always asleep around this time, don't you? Well, and I ran off on a lot of things yesterday. Yeah, I was in a mood to go off on a lot of things. So I talked a lot yesterday because, again, I wasn't using my bike because of my knee. You know, like the day before, I wanted to live stream some Apex Legends, and our internet fucked up, and we had to get a technician out. They replaced the modem. We have a new modem, and so far it's doing better. You know, at this point we've replaced everything except for the equipment internal. You know, our hubs, our 2 routers, and we know those are good because our internal network works fine. If we were having issues, our internal network would have issues. I don't know. I think it's that pedestal outside finally. I mean, if there are any other problems, I think it's that thing, because the last technician that was here did say that it was in pretty bad shape. I don't know. We're all getting really tired of the crappy service we're getting from Cable One. We pay $300 and something for internet. Yeah, we don't have cable TV with them, and it's a business account. You know, $220 down, $20 up. Unlimited, no bandwidth caps. So, you know, we pay a lot for it, way more than it's really worth. The state of ISPs in the United States is a joke. You know, a serious joke. Like I said yesterday, you know, telecoms were given, you know, money to expand their networks coast to coast through the Telecommunications Act in the 90s. What'd they do with it? Pocketed it. Gave CEOs raises. Didn't use a cent to expand their networks nationwide. You know, by rights, Verizon Fios should be available everywhere. I know Fios didn't exist then, but if they had used that money, the telecoms had used that money, Verizon would have had the infrastructure in place to bring Fios to every area of the country, even rural areas. No, but no, these companies focus only on, you know, the most populated areas. And there are some regions that don't have any ISPs at all, and you don't have any high-speed ISPs, and you have to use dial-up, or you have to use satellite, and that's terrible internet. I mean, you have a good connection when it's not really cloudy, but you get feed through the nose. You have really low bandwidth caps. You know, during peak hours, you have extremely tight bandwidth caps. They usually remove those during non-peak hours, but that means that you have to do a lot of your stuff at night. And it should not be that way. It should not be that way. We have the illusion of competition between ISPs in America. The illusion of competition. There's no real competition here. There's no real competition here. I mean, you'll be doing good to have more than one major cable ISP in a certain area. Most areas only have one. If you live like in a big city, then you might have maybe 2 or 3. Maybe 2. And their prices, all high. Their service, same crap. You know, there's no actual competition. That's all gotta change. All of that's gotta change. Yay, capitalism. Yay. Yeah, it's not working out so great. Pure socialism's not the way either. Definitely not communism. But capitalism as it is now, yeah, not working. Not working. Too much corruption. You know, way too much. You know, you got companies that are out to make profits at any cost, and they are doing some really nefarious stuff in order to make money. You know, to make as much as they can, skirting the law, having a team of lawyers going over the law to see what kind of loopholes they could take advantage of, and none of them paying any taxes. You know, or most of them at least not paying any taxes. You know, I'm just sick of it all. I support that bill that's in Congress right now. It's not going anywhere, but it hasn't been killed yet. I don't expect it to be killed, but it's currently a bill in the House. Gets rid of the IRS. Gets rid of the IRS entirely and creates a national sales tax. No income tax. No income tax, gets rid of all the other taxes and just makes a national sales tax. You know what? That'll be enough funding for the government. That'll be more than enough. You know how many transactions take place in the country? There are billions of transactions taking place at stores and places all over the country. So if you just had a flat sales tax on all of it, you know, low flat sales tax on all of it, that'll be a lot of revenue. You won't have to file taxes anymore. You'll be paying your taxes every time you go to the store. And while you're at it, cut off the Fed. Because you know what? And this is true. All I'm about to say is true, and it's published in a book by the Federal Reserve itself. Your tax dollars don't pay for any projects. All the money that goes to every project, all the money that goes to the military, all the money that goes to everything like Planned Parenthood and everything else, those are not taxpayer dollars. None of that goes towards anything. Your taxes don't pay diddly squat in the government. The money they get, the money that projects and agencies get in the US government does not come from your taxes. Period. I repeat, none of it comes from your taxes. Period. The only thing that is directly paid by taxes is Social Security, because there's a separate Social Security tax for that. But income tax, the money from income tax, none of that goes towards any projects in the government, any agency. Absolutely 0%. So you want to find out how that works? Go find yourself a copy of Modern Money Mechanics, published by the Federal Reserve. So what does all that money go to? What does the income tax go to? All the money that the government uses is borrowed on interest from the Fed. And your income tax, the very reason the IRS exists, the whole purpose for the IRS to exist, is to pay back the debt that was borrowed. When people talk about the national debt, when they're talking about the national debt, that is how much money is owed back to the Fed. That is what the national debt is. That's what they mean when they talk about the national debt. It is money owed back to the Fed for the money that was borrowed by the US government. That's not how it's supposed to work. Congress is supposed to have the power to print money. And they're supposed to be the ones who have the power to print money. Well, back in the early 1900s, a bunch of rich bankers got together. They went to Jekyll Island off of the coast of New Jersey, and they met in secret. They met in secret, and they hammered out, they hammered out what would become the bill that created the Federal Reserve and the IRS. They created bankers. We're talking about Rockefellers and all them. They're the ones that made that. And they waited until Christmas break in order to, rush it through Congress. So while most people were on Christmas break, and most people were on Christmas break from Congress when they pushed this through, because they had brought some others back, their supporters, to pass this, and the president then signed it. President who was in their back pocket signed it, and most of their opposition was out of town. Most of their opposition was either out of town or they were dead because they died on the Titanic. Because there were people riding on the Titanic who were coming to the US to stop that bill. And they died on the Titanic. So around Christmas, when most other people in Congress were on break, they rushed this thing through Congress, through the House and the Senate, and got it signed before any of them could do anything about it. It's all true. So basically, and we're told otherwise, but the book published by the Fed itself says this. A private entity. The Federal Reserve there's nothing federal about the Federal Reserve at all. It is a private bank. Now, as per the agreement with the US government, Congress gets to appoint the head of the Federal Reserve. But the government doesn't control the Fed. No, we get to choose who runs it, but it's still a private bank. It's still a private entity. It's not a part of the government. It says Federal Reserve on the name, but there's nothing federal about it. They technically don't have to do what the government says. Even though we get to appoint who runs the thing, we don't get to say the Congress does not get to say how it's run, what they do. It's a private entity. And so that bill basically handed control of our monetary system over to a private bank. It's been that way for decades, and ever since then, our economy has been steadily worsening and worsening and worsening and worsening. Anyway, enough of this. I don't want the negativity. I'm pissed off enough about the whole situation as it is. And I really don't want the negativity right now. I'd rather talk about something a little more positive today. Watched Young Yao's video. CD Projekt Red is not going to release Cyberpunk 2077 as an Epic Games exclusive. They responded to someone saying, please don't release this as an exclusive on Epic Games Store, and the company replied back, yeah, pass on that. They've been earning a lot of goodwill with gamers. You know, CDPR has been earning a lot of goodwill with gamers because they buck all of the terrible trends going on in the industry right now. They don't have loot boxes, they don't have microtransactions in full price games. When they released The Witcher 3, you didn't need a chart and you didn't need guides published by IGN to tell you which version to get what items. No. When it was out on pre-order.
And when they released their games, none of their games have DRM. Their store, they actually have a store like Epic Games. They're a publisher and developer. They have a store, same like Valve. Valve used to make games, but they have their own store. It's good old games, GOG. None of the games on GOG have DRM. It's a DRM-free store. And you know what? They're doing really good. The company is worth billions. CD Projekt Red is worth billions because of it. You know what? That gives them the money to be able to make, high-quality AAA games. And they don't resort to, exploitative, consumer unfriendly practices. They don't do microtransactions. They don't throw microtransactions into full price games. They don't put loot boxes in them. And The Witcher 3 didn't have any of that stuff. No microtransactions, no loot boxes, none of that stuff. Most of the DLC for The Witcher 3 was free. Most of it, the significant bulk of the DLC for The Witcher 3 was free. And then there were some paid. There was some paid DLC. The expansions, Blood and Wine, and Heart of Stone, which were both excellent. Blood and Wine is really good. Blood and Wine is really, really good. But yeah, if what they did with The Witcher 3 is what they're gonna do with Cyberpunk, I'm really looking forward to it. But they're showing the AAA industry what they could be. That they don't need, they don't need these exploitative business practices. They don't need to be skirting gambling laws. They don't need any of that. You know what? My knee is not hurting. It's a little stiff, but it's not hurting. I think giving it that day to rest, giving it one day to rest, I think is what really helped. Now, I'm not going to be doing this on Saturday and Sunday, so that'll also give it some more time to rest too. And OBS is behaving, or should I say our ISP is behaving, because there's a little indicator in the bottom right corner. It's a little green box. And it has the it has the bit rate which it's uploading to the service, which the service I use is Restream.io, and I'm able to stream to 3 separate services at the same time with it: YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer. And for the most part, it works really well. I mean, I don't have a paid account, because the paid account will have them like transcode the video so that it is in the exact format that all 3 want. But it seems to, but the settings I've got OBS in seem to work for the most part for all 3. Alright. And the cat's asleep. I don't know if you can see her right here. a few things I've done recently. Oh, I went back to Wayfair and I ordered a bench. Because right now I'm using my old chair in the kitchen. I was using the chair that sits in front of the Threadripper machine. That is our editing machine, our server. Was using that, but it's not really designed for my weight, and it's not good that I have my big fat butt on it all the time. So I started using my old chair. The thing is, my old chair doesn't really fit in the kitchen very well. It's big. So what I did was, and I double checked with Tigra and Dave on this, I went and they said that yeah, I can do this. I went and I bought a stool, not a bench, a stool for the kitchen. It's at a 500-pound weight limit. It's all metal, so it'll hold up, and it's got a 500-pound weight limit to it. And so what it will do is I will be able to actually, you know, sit up high for once. I'll be able to actually sit up high for once and be able to work properly in the kitchen instead of being way down low on everything. Hopefully it's not too high. I did measure it out. Hopefully it's not too high where I'm up so high I can't do anything. That would suck. But I think it will give me significant height, and I'll be able to actually do some proper work in the kitchen without being really low. Because that puts some strain on my arms too, doing that, being really low. On my arms, my back. Puts a lot of strain on my legs too, my feet. So being a little higher up will help. Plus my face is not down in everything. You know, I can actually work, right? It doesn't have wheels. So, you know, that's the trade-off. That's the unfortunate trade-off. It doesn't have wheels, so I won't be able to slide it around the kitchen, roll around the kitchen like I usually do. I'll have to move it every time I move. You know, but I think it's better. I think it will turn out to be a lot better. I'll be able to see down into pots and everything, and you know, and I'm working. Then eventually, what I'm hoping is eventually I'll be able to stand indefinitely in the kitchen. I won't have to have periods where I'll have to sit down, because I still have to sit down at some point. You know, I was able to walk through the store yesterday just fine. And I had to sit down a little bit because my back started hurting. But I've been doing way better than I did, like, last month. I don't know how much I've lost in weight. I know I have lost. You know, and doing these exercises is helping me lose more. Okay. Go a little longer. This, but not push it too far. Not push it too hard. I don't want to hurt my knee again. So I think I pushed myself too hard. The The last stream I did where I was on the bike, I may have pushed my knee too far. That's why it started buckling the next day, or buckling later that day. So I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to cut off here very soon and switch to my weights. Alright. Still plugged in? Yep. I really gotta get an extension for this. More money I don't have. At least I'm not getting the money back on this chair because it's for my own private use. But the chair for the stool for the kitchen is going on the house fund, so I'm gonna get that money back. Anything that we use for the kitchen or anything that I get for the kitchen, I get money back for it because it's for, you know, it's for the house. Hello, kitty. She's out. She's out like a light. The cat is out like a light. Okay, I think that's enough there. Ow. Alright. Alright, foot, where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to sleep, foot? Wake up. Sleeping on the job, foot. My foot stop. Goes to sleep peddling this. Okay. How does that work? Alright, now I'm for my weight. Let me move this thing out of the way. That thing is heavy. That exercise bike, that thing's really heavy. Alright. Am I still in frame here? Yep. I just want to make sure I'm not being covered by this window. I hope that they release that browser thing for OBS so that I can embed that into the stream instead of just having to show the actual window. I used to do that, but it doesn't work anymore for some reason. Alright. Ow, ow. Don't push like that. Hurts the knee. Alright. Two, three, That hurts the arms a lot more than you might think. A lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I keep this up, I'm gonna have some guns. Be like Master Roshi, this old burp with massive arms. Sort of kind of look like I got a shell on my back with this thing here, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ow! Whew. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Man, oh man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can feel it in my arms. Really feel it in my arms now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Especially this one. This is not my strongest arm. This is my strongest arm. You know, because I watch a lot of prawn and hentai. So this is my strongest arm. Get it? That's a yoke, son. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Uh-oh. Ah, crap. Here we go. I saw that flash red. Well, there's no timeouts. What the hell? Yeah, it's flashing red on me. Yellow, red. Alright. I think Restream is flaking out on me. Our connection's fine. It's Restream. You know what? It's almost 10. So it's about that. It's about the right time to stop. I could go a little longer, but our internet is fine. I just checked the pings. Pretty Ping's been running all night. I have not shut my machine down in a couple of days, and Pretty Ping's been running constantly. You know, it's just a shell script, so it doesn't take a lot of memory. And it's been running, and I'm pinging to inside Cable One's network and outside Cable One's network, and both of them don't show any timeouts. So why is OBS doing this? Restream, probably. Or it's, well, any major ISP is going to have more than one connection to the backbone, and so they're connected to Cable One is connected to what are those different ones they're connected to? eTech, and then there is Level 1, and I forget the bunch of other ones that they're all connected to around here. There's like 4 or 5 of them. They're all connected to different backbone companies. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. Level 1, I think, is one of the bigger ones that they're connected to. And one of them is one I might be routing through to get to Restream. And that might be why that's happening, because my pings are probably going out one other one, and Restream's probably going out another. So you can't determine, you can't lock in which one. Ah, Crept Raccoon. Good morning, Hank. You know what? You guys keep showing up near the end of my show. And you're from Mixer. Great to see you. Let me guess, you're from the UK too, because I get a lot of people from the UK in the morning on Mixer. Actually, it's not the morning there though. Or are you local? Ah, New York City. So you are local? If you ever seen League of Gentlemen, you'll get that joke. Oh, yeah, this is I think you may have been on the stream before. I'm doing pretty well. You asked how are you? Doing pretty well, doing better. My knee's doing a little better. Because I did almost throw it out a couple of times the other day, and that's why I let it rest, because I didn't use the exercise bike yesterday. So I used it today, and it wasn't hurting. It does hurt if I push with my leg to roll backwards. That's when it hurts. So I'm gonna have to not do that, or don't use that leg to do it. My left leg. I have to use my right leg not to do it. So New York City, the Big Apple. That's pretty cool. So you are on the East Coast. Yeah, how are you enjoying all that winter? It was 70 degrees here yesterday. Anyway, this is basically the end of my show. This is the point to where, you know, I hammer this message through, and it's one that I am endeavoring to follow myself. I let myself go. My health condition, my weight and everything is because yes, I do every time. Basically, I let myself go because I had depression. I didn't know I had depression until I saw Barnacules, Jerry Berg, talk about it, and I realized, hey, that's what was happening to me. So at the end of every show, I tell people, you know, seek help, surround yourself with positive people. It helps to talk. Don't bottle it in. It's not good for you to bottle it in, and definitely don't let them put you on the drugs, because the drugs, the side effects of that are really horrible. Don't let them put you on it. And I also say, you know, the exercise bike I use, it's an under the desk style. I've got a link to it on Amazon, the very same one I use. It's not an affiliate link. And yes, facts. You know, people should not be offended by the truth. You know, people shouldn't be offended by the truth. You should grow stronger from the truth. A lot of people need to learn that. Definitely facts. But the exercise bike I use, I link to it in the video description, and also I link to the Gamers Bay store. Every sale at the Gamers Bay store on eBay, where we sell retro games, helps our channel. And we've got original Xbox, and we've got PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games on there, mostly a lot of Xbox stuff. And that's run by Daniel. He runs the Gamers Bay channel, and also the Gamers Bay community, where I'm an admin. The Gamers Bay community is on MeWe. MeWe is a privacy-focused social media network that runs no ads, does not collect your data, and doesn't sell it. It was co-founded by Tim Berners-Lee, who is the father of the World Wide Web, and it is a social media network where you won't get censored for a wrong thing, for not agreeing with a political corporate agenda. So it's not like Facebook, not like Twitter, where you'll get banned for telling a journalist to go learn to code. And I like it. It's got features that are very similar to what Google Plus used to have when it was before Google launched the new UI and completely screwed it. So go check out our community on MeWe, and also you'll find links to my my social media links where you can, well, my handles for various social media in the description below as well. If you want to get in whole touch with me on various platforms, if you want to like friend me on Steam. I need to add Origin to that too, because I've got Origin. I've been using Origin a little more, even though I don't like it. I do use it for Apex Legends and Battlefront 2. And I've got the Epic Store as well. I may add that eventually if I do more stuff in the Epic Store, but I do most of my stuff in Steam. So I've got that on there. Also, there's a link to my Discord channel. So if you guys want to, any of you want to, and you're on Discord, join my channel. And I'm always in the Bike with Mike room. It is an accessible voice channel with that can take 20 people. Anyway, Cramp Raccoon, you joined the stream, you know, late, but that's fine. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the kind words. Everybody that basically comes on and has encouraging words and, you know, and are very helpful. I really appreciate all of you. I really do, because, you know, it helps a lot. And I am Mike TheZorch, and I tend to ramble a lot, so I'm gonna cut this short. Thank you for watching, and I will be back on Monday. Okay. Oh, last minute. Alright. Also, I may, I'm thinking of streaming later today. I usually don't stream at night. I used to stream at night a lot, but we've been trying to stay on a daytime schedule. So we usually go to bed about midnight. So I usually stream during the day. Sometime about 3 or 4, I am considering doing some more streaming. I may cover, you know, I'll just make it a surprise. I don't know what I'm going to cover. I did some Apex Legends last time. May do something else later on. You too. You enjoy your day as well. Hope you have a very good day, Cramp Raccoon. I hope you do. So, again, I'm Mike TheZorch. Thank you, everybody who watched. Thank you, Cramped Raccoon. See you guys next time on Monday.